started. All right, guys. Let's get started. Let's start sitting up in our seat, nice and straight. Yeah, there we go. Get comfortable. Maybe pull your back away from the chair if you can. If you feel like you need to have your back position on the chair, just do your best to have a nice alignment, like no hunching, okay? Look down at your feet. Make sure your feet are about hips width apart. If you don't know what hips width apart is taking your two fists, placing them side by side, and then hugging the inner arches of your knees around those fists. And when you look down, you should see a capital H. Okay, that's your hips width apart. I always remind people. Roll your shoulders up and back. Allow that to help you sit up a little bit taller. And then gently fixate your gaze or close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, start to just breathe in a concentrated way. Allowing for, yourself to just prepare for class. You arrived, you're here, you're present. And next, maybe imagine that breath goes a little bit further down the body so that the breath gets deeper. And maybe your belly rises a little bit more. And then on the exhale, it releases just a little bit more. Navel touches the spine. If you'd like to take your hands and place them on your belly, you can. And as you breathe in, feel with your fingertips the way the breath connects to the belly. And see if for the next 5 breaths, all you do is focus on the breath coming into the body and connecting with the belly. And just swaying with the rhythm of that up and down movement. Nothing to do and nowhere to go but to ride the wave of breath. Next, when you're ready, you can drop your hands onto your thighs or by your side. Take the chin and bring it to the chest. And just sit there for a few moments as you inhale and exhale. And take your right ear and just roll it over to your right side. Really allowing for the left side, that left shoulder to hang heavy. Come back to center. And bring that left ear to the left shoulder. Letting the right shoulder hang heavy. Again, letting the left shoulder hang heavy. Back to center. Come back over to the right and then to the left and just do a few head rolls, left to right. That's all. Nothing going back yet, just few head rolls, breathing in and out, just to warm up the neck. And then come back to center, eyesight gaze is forward. Take the shoulders, roll them up by the ears and then back. You want to bring your hands by your side, you can. Just do about 4 of these. Yeah, there you go. And then reverse, coming back forward. Beautiful. Let's bring the arms up. First time we're lifting them overhead high, seated mountain pose. And really try to make your arms reach up to the ceiling. Imagine that you maybe take your hands and you're just climbing up the mountain. And you get to the top, and then finally you have your arms all the way straight. You're at the top of the peak. And then you can roll your shoulders away from the ears. So you have these nice straight arms, but the shoulders are not doing the work. So we don't have to engage them. And if you like, you can take your gaze up and look up. And allow the breath to come in to the tip of the nose. And then on the exhale, release either through the nose or mouth. And then bring the hands slowly by the side. We're going to do that 3 more times. Inhale. Breathe in. And exhale. Go ahead. Bring the hands back down by the side. Inhale. And exhale. Just let the arms sit there for a second. Beautiful. And we're going to bring our hands onto the tops of our thighs. And we're going to start out by bringing the belly in. Okay. So bringing the belly in, tucking the belly down, letting the back body protrude out like it's going towards the chair. And just hunch over. And this is our cat pose. On the next inhale, use the belly muscles, come up, lift up, bring the chest up. Gaze is up. Cow. And just do these gently, nothing too extreme. Just a little bit of movement to start to open up this part of the body, the back, the belly, the chest, the neck. And then come back to center. We want to open up the full body, right? You can bring your hands back onto the tops of your thighs. And you can open up your thigh just a little bit and start to just do some rolls. Open it up. And then reverse. Again, we're just opening up and warming up the full body before we kind of really get into our practice today. Still applying the concepts of yoga. Still using our breath, come back to center to help us move and guide us. And if you want to hold on to the chair for this next pose, you can. We're going to take our right foot, lift it up in front of us, and just put it in front of us, squeezing the thigh, squeezing the ankle, like we're actually just squeezing the full leg down to our foot. And then bring the foot back down. And then go on the other side. Inhale and exhale. And come back. Let's do it again. Flex the foot. Come back. And flex the foot. Awesome, awesome. Now let's come down to our heels. So bring the heels onto the ground, but lift up the toes and then do the reverse. Take the toes, press them on the ground, lift up the heels. And go back and forth. Awesome. Now we're ready to do our first flow of the class. So bring your feet back to that position where they're stable, the heels and the toes on the ground. Arms rise, reach up, lift up overhead. We already know not to bring those shoulders to those ears, right? So roll those shoulders back. Inhale and breathe in through that mountain pose. And then exhale, come down, belly towards the thighs. And we're just going to stay here for a second. Let the chin drop into the chest and then shake the head yes and no. Let the head dangle, let the arms dangle over the sides of the legs. Just feel your belly press against your thighs. Take about 2 more breaths. Really feel like when you're breathing in that your whole spine is just being massaged by the breath. So you can really, really feel the deep breath coming into the body. And then on the exhale, completely release, letting go. Press your feet into the ground, really pressing them strong. Squeeze the core and the thighs. Come up, half lift, flat back. There we go. Roll those shoulders away from the ears, because we definitely don't need them to help us right now. And just to actually get the strength in our belly, bring the hands forward like we're in chair pose. Like we were standing, this would be chair pose, and now we're sitting in chair pose. And just kind of reach forward, lift up out of the pelvic bowl, out of the spine, and then bring the hands behind you so that you know you're using those abs. That's what you want to use when we come up every time. Exhale, release. Let it go. Shake the head out, shake the hands out, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. Coming up, we go up overhead, up into mountain pose. Now I want you to stay here for a second. Take the hands, interlace the fingers, press the palms up towards the ceiling. And breathe. We're first going to start out by leaning over to our right, pivoting open on that left shoulder, gaze is up. Come back to center, and then to the left we go, and gaze is up. Come back to the center, and hands come down by the side. Let's lift the arms up again. This time, interlace the fingers, but make a shooting gun. So the thumb crosses the other thumb, but the index finger points up. Now we're going to do a half moon. So we're in a seated half moon or crescent pose. And we're going to start out by leaning over towards our right and just poking those hands out, poking that finger out towards the right, like we're using the left hand to help push the hand, and they're together and they're pointing over towards the right. Come back to center, and then to the other side we go, really pulling through that pelvic bowl area, lifting up, allowing the hands to be active in this pose. Come back to center, look up, gaze up, really stretching up, and then hands come down by the side. But I want you to then take them and scoop them behind you, interlace the fingers, and then press the shoulders down. So now we're going in the opposite way. We did the shooting gun up, and now we're pressing those arms down. If you like, you can take the hands and just rest them on your sacrum, or you can actually lift those arms and lean forward a little bit for that inversion. And breathe. Really letting those shoulder blades touch one another. All right, hands come down. Shake it out. Shake it out. You know how I love shaking stuff out. And breathe. All right. Let's go your hands. Yep. There you go. Start to get some heat going. You want to get the heat, and that's going to help to relax your face more as we do the massage. But every time you move your hands, I want you to breathe. All right. So take the knuckles of the palm, put it into the eyes, and I want you to breathe as you move. Try not to hold the breath here. Just breathe as you move those hands around the eye area, up around the head, the sinus. Be gentle, gentle to touch. Maybe come down around your nose and then take your middle finger or your index finger or your ring finger and just pull down around the sinus cavity. Coming forward towards the ears, and just like you're scissor cutting your ears, just kind of take your fingertips up and down around the jaw. There we go. Give your neck a little massage, bringing the hands down when you're ready. Noticing any parts of your body that might be a little tense. All right. Come on to the arms, the wrists, the heart. I know my sound's right here, but bring your hands to your heart and just kind of massage around the heart area and the chest. We're going to come down to the belly and rub around the belly. Come to the thighs. down the legs. And just press on your toes. And you feel your whole body nice and active. Come back up. And let's go in for a flow. We're just going to go through the full flow until we come back up. All right. One breath, one movement. Inhale, reach up, lift up overhead. Your whole body should feel electric right now. You should feel your whole body, your fingertips to your toes. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise, reach up, lift up overhead. Hands come down by the side and shake it out. Good, good, good. All right, bring your arms in front of you, lift them up. Take your right hand, wiggle the right fingertips, sky flip the palm. Take the left hand, place it underneath, and just pull back on those fingertips, being gentle. You don't want to go past a moderate stretch. And you can always take breaks just like this, where you bring your elbows by your side, you hold on to that hand. And then when you're ready, you come back out. Sit up taller in your seat to make sure that you're breathing. All right. And start with the pinky and start to rotate around. About 3 times on each finger. If you want to go double time, you can. Try to make sure that you are pressing that finger down though. Not up, down. And then finish it off with a nice little last press. And rotate those hands. All right, bring the hands back out again. Wiggle the left fingertips, sky flip the left palm. The right hand comes underneath, just pop it underneath. And we pull back on those fingertips. Same thing applies. Make sure you're breathing in. You need to take a break, take a break. And start rotating. Make sure you're breathing. And only pull back until you're okay. You don't want to overstretch here. Beautiful. And then we pull back completely. And then just kind of rotate those hands back down. And shake it out. Left and right. Every time we shake it out, what we're doing is we're going to prepare eventually to do our twist. And all that shaking is going to give us extra space to really embrace it when we get there. Okay. Plus, shaking it out is just like shaking it out. Shake out your hands too. There we go. All right, take the hands, bring them out forward again. Take the right fingertips, wiggle them, and then bring it onto the left shoulder. Take the left hand and go underneath. Okay, keep the elbows out in front of you, right? So if I had my elbows on my chest, it looks like this. So you want to keep them out in front of you and you're hugging yourself. You can stay just like this, but if you can challenge yourself, come up for an eagle pose where you bind. You don't have to do anything else. And like again, remember, you can stay in that modified position, just hugging yourself. So if you can bind. And just breathe. We'll say 2 more breaths. We kind of already been in it for about 4 count already. Unwind the arms. Let them glide back and forth. And bring the hands down by the side. And before we do the other side, lift up the shoulders and then drop it. Just to shake out that energy in a different way. And then go back and forth, left and right. Yeah, there we go. All right, hands come out and forward again. Wiggle the left fingertips. Bring the left hand on top of the shoulder. Right hand goes underneath. All right, elbows are up, just like before. All right, if you can go in for the bind, go in for the bind. On the other side now, eagle pose. Remember, you have the modified hugging position. It's up to you. And then unwind. There we go. Yay. All right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Arms lift, reach up, lift up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms lift. There you go. Look up, gaze up. Mountain pose. If you can back bend slightly, back bend slightly. But we're going to stay here for a second. Roll those shoulders away from the ears. Wiggle the right fingertips. And bring that right fingertip down the back. And then just take the fingertips on the left side and just place them on the elbow. So it looks like this. Okay. And you're just pulling back on that arm. You're going to feel a nice stretch on the tricep. Take the hands back up. Take the left fingertips. Bring the left hand down. And then take the right fingertips and pull back. And comes back up. All right, we're going to bring the hands behind us this time. All right, now you can just grab the clothing behind you, or you can do namaskar. Bringing the hands behind the back. Can't do it, that's okay. Don't worry. Just grab the clothes. You'll get there one day. Keep breathing. All right, take the arms, lift them back up. And just kind of rotate them a few times. We're going to take the right hand again, bring it down, that back body, but this time we're going to take the left and we're just going to try to reach for our hands, all right? You don't have to actually reach, but you can just reach for the clothing. All right. Each side is different. So one, like I can't do it on this side, but when I go to the other side, I can actually touch. So just don't judge yourself. Come back up. And we're just going to flip them around and come to the other side. And if you can do it, it's going to look like this. Like I said, I can't do it on the one side, but I can do it on this side. Continue to sit up nice and straight. Allow your body to be pumped up. And breathe. Undo the arms. Bring them back and forth. And then shake it out. All right. We're going to go through a flow. And then when we get back up, we're going to stay there because we're going to go into our twist sequence. Okay. So let's go through the flow to shake that all out. Make sure your feet are active. Touch your toes. You're all right. Look up, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold. Squeeze that core. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms come up. Remember, we're keeping them up. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. We're going to twist over towards the right. Come back to center. And then twist over to the left. Come back to center. Twist to the right. And then just drop the hands to the outside of the right body. Like this so you can see me. We look behind us. If you want to take your right hand and place it onto the chair, you can. Now, if you want to actually pull it up, because some people like to get the extra twist in their back. They want to crack their back a little bit. You can bring your hands up to the top of the chair. It's your choice. Make sure your gaze is looking over that shoulder though. So if you're looking at me, you're probably not looking over your shoulder right now, unless I'm facing the computer. And we're just going to sit here for a few moments. Not every pose has to go super fast in yoga. If you can just bring the breath into the pose, inviting it in a kind and compassionate way. If you can relax a little bit more in the pose, or try to relax a little bit more. If you're forcing it, try to not force. Just let yourself ease into the pose. One more breath. Bring the hands up. And then we're going to pivot back into center, back to the left, come back to center, pivot to the right. You'll see too, it feels completely different on the right side, right? Come back to center and to the left, and then we drop our hands to the outside of the left body. And we do the same thing on the other side. Your choice of where to put the hand. Looking over the shoulder, continue to keep the gaze there. One more breath. Arms rise up. Come back to center. All right. Bring your knees and your legs together. You keep the hands up. You're going to bring them to a prayer position and then bring them to heart center. You can bring the knees together. They're not together already. Press your feet into the ground. Squeeze the core. That will help the legs go together. All right. Take your left elbow. I want you to wiggle it. And bring that left elbow down to either the left knee or the right knee. You can hook over if you like, and then take the gaze up. If you want to go in for a bind, you can. Or or fly away, you can. Come back to center with your hands. Squeeze the core, come back up. And we're looking again forward. Step a little bit taller in your seat. Take the right elbow, wiggle the right elbow. And then bring the right elbow down to either the left or the right leg. You can hook it over, great. Gaze is up. You want to go in for your fly away, you can. My hands back to center. Come back forward, facing me. Arms rise. We're going to keep it together. Nice long leg. Take the shooting gun again. We're going to lean to the left. Come back to center. Lean to the right. Stretching that rib cage. Come back to center. Look up, gaze up. Back bend slightly. And then arms come down by the side. And shake it out. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. We're going to open up the legs. This is part of our twisting sequence. So open up the legs. Bring the chest forward. And then we're going to come back. Forward and then back. And now, time we go forward, stay right where we are. All right. Get your legs super comfortable because we want to be able to do our tilting inward on each shoulder. So you might need a little bit more space to tilt your shoulder down the middle of your legs. So take your right arm and just wiggle it. So you know you're on the right side. You're going to press that hand into the inner thigh and bring that shoulder down the midline. Come back up. Take the left, wiggle it, and then bring that shoulder down. Left shoulder down the midline. Come back up, squeeze the core, rolling up, and then back. Forward, and then back. Inhale, we come forward. Stay where we are. Take the right fingertips, just tap them on the top of your leg, and then bring that elbow onto the inside of the knee, the inside of where that knee and that thigh are. Wrap your fingertips around the right ankle. All right, you can stay just like this. Or if you like, you can take your hands, your left hand, and lift it up for the fly away. Try to keep your left sits bone grounded into the seat. Maybe smile, no stressing. You're doing great. lengthen, bring that hand down. Left hand comes back down, but this time it's going to slide down the inside of the left leg. And then we're going to bring that right hand either to the thigh or up. Your choice. Come back to center. All right, both hands are now on the ankles. You could stay just like this, dropping the chin to the chest. Or if your chair permits it, you can drop your hands down to the ground. Chin to the chest, and you can shake it out. Bring your hands around your ankles if they're not there already. And we're going to slowly start to walk our hands up, palm and thumb pressing all the way up the legs. We're not lifting up our head yet. We're just lifting up our belly. Then we'll lift up our chest and then head very slowly until we heel the feet back together. And let's go through a flow. So arms rise, reach up, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. Take the hands, whoop, scoop it around, bring up your left knee, your right knee, I'm sorry. Bring up your right knee. If you want to keep your toe on the ground and just your heel up and you're still hugging around that knee, that's fine. But if you can get it up a little bit, that's great. You can just let it dangle because you'll benefit from the gravity of the knee sitting in your hands. And then slowly let the belly sink in. Let the chin and the chest come down like you're looking at your leg. And then we're going to inhale and we're going to start to bring the knee up towards the inner armpit. You only go where you can go. Even if you're not able to get it up high, still try to bring it over to the side a little bit, just so that it doesn't stop you from breathing in your belly. Let it drop again. Weight falls into the fingertips, chin to the chest. And now, for those who can do it, we're going to bring that foot up and we're going to place it on top of our thigh, on top of the opposite thigh. Okay. Doesn't matter if it looks like this. I'll give a modification shortly. But let's see, for those who can do this, I want to be able to offer it to them. All right. We're going to bring the hands, lift them up, reach them up overhead. And you're going to twist your body over towards the right. And then just take your left hand, cross it over, place it on the knee, and then take your right hand and bring it on the chair behind you and look over towards the right. Okay. For those of you who cannot do it, just keep your foot down on the ground and come back and do what we did before. So modified pose is just coming right back into the twist pose that we did just a few moments ago. But for those who can, you're going to have that leg, you're going to have that hip opener as part of this. All right, bring the hand up, We're going to twist over towards the left side now. Drop the hands to the outside of the left leg. Bring the left hand behind you and look over that left shoulder. Come back into center. Arms rise. Keep your leg right where it is. For those of you who are able to do this, I'm going to show you right now. I'll show the modified in a second. But bring your hands to your leg. So your forearms to your foreleg, I guess, so to speak. You can just stay like this, dropping the chin to the chest. Or if you want to dangle your arms over, you can do that too. Okay, for those who are in the modified pose only, all right, you can just come forward, lay your belly on top of your chest and drop your chin to the chest and just dangle. Just like we do in the forward fold when we flow in the very beginning of class. So you can get a little relaxation and decompression as well. 2 more breaths. And last one, come back up, belly, chest, and then head. Do maybe a few more kind of like movements with your leg if you want to open up the hip anymore. If not, just take your fingertips, wrap them around the knee, and the same way we started is the same way we're going to end. Bring that foot back down gently, guided by the hands. All right, and then you can just kind of shake it out. Shake out the legs, shake out the upper body. You can also windshield wiper your legs back and forth. All right, great, great, great. Let's do the other side. All right, so we'll go through a flow and then we'll scoop up on that other leg. So arms rise, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands scoop up on the left leg. Again, modify, you know the modification, so you can modify as you need to. I'm just going to go through the regular, the pose that's not modified. So, but you know how to modify from doing this side. Okay. So we're going to take the belly, let it sink in, chin to the chest. And we're going to hunch that back, really letting the weight fall into our hands. Our hands are scooping up the weight of our knee. And then inhale, lift up, bringing that knee in towards the arm, the inner arm. And then exhale. We loosen. Inhale, we come back up. And this time we take our foot, if it's in our practice, and we bring it to the top of our thigh. Kind of just open up that thigh gently, maybe push around, lean up and down, back and forth a little bit. All right. Arms rise, reach up, lift up, overhead. And on the exhale, we're going to pivot over towards the left and then bring the hands down to the outside of the left leg and then bring the left hand behind us onto the chair. If you're modifying, you can go ahead and modify now. Take your hands, lift them up, come back to center. We'll go over to the right side now, drop our hands to the outside of the right leg, and then look over to the side. Come back up to center, look up. And you can bring your forearms to your forelegs and lean forward, chin to the chest. If you want to drop your hands down, you can. Gently start to come up, belly, chest, and head. Interlace those fingers. Wiggle the foot out if it's in your practice. And bring the foot back down. All right, let's go through our flow. Arms rise, reach up, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. And we're going to come to our standing pose. So you can either just come behind your chair standing, or you can come up, squeezing the thighs, lifting up straight into mountain. Looking up, gazing up, lean to your left and to your right, and then shake it out. Let me adjust the camera. We're gonna just do a short sequence standing up. All right, as always, the way we always start, right? We want to come to the side of our chair. And we're just going to lean our weight over towards the right. And then take that left foot, lift it up. Notice how your balance is. Notice if there's anything you need to do to adjust. Soften the knee. And then just come down. And tick-tock a few times. And bring that foot back down. Let's go to the other side. Again, we're going to allow the weight to just shift into the left side. You want to feel our balance and where we are positioned. And lift up on that right foot and just tick-tock down. Awesome, great. Okay, now you can come right behind your chair. All right, we're gonna start out in mountain pose. So soften those knees, maybe bounce a few times. If you wanna have both hands up, you can. But if you wanna hold on to the chair, this is what holding on to the chair would look like, okay? If you're doing both hands, it looks like this. All right, so I'm gonna do it holding on to the chair, but you're welcome to let go completely in any of these poses. All right, and then bring the hand down and breathe. We're gonna walk back, coming into a downward dog, modified downward dog with the chair. I like to just bring the forearms onto the top of the chair and be able to have a flat back with the head on the chair. Okay, that gives you an ability to kind of just let the head go and get a little bit of that relaxation that comes from just letting go. If you want to take it to the second rung and you're a little more advanced, you can bring your hands to the second rung of the chair where the seat is and then let your head hang heavy. Okay, so either place is fine. I'm going to do it here with the top of the chair. If you want to walk your dog out, taking the heel up and down, you can. You're about 2 feet away from the bottom of the chair. So your feet are about two feet back. You want to just try to keep that flat back. And breathe. Next, we're going to come up, belly, chest, and head, and then start to walk forward again. All right. Keep the right foot where it is. We're going to take the left foot and bring it back. And it's going to be at about a 45-degree angle. All right, so right foot is forward, left foot is back. All right, we're going to square our hips with the chair, soften our knee, and your knee is in like a lunge position, okay? What you can do is go back as far as you like, or you can bring the range in. It's okay, wherever you are is fine. But you want to start to prepare for a warrior one. All right, we bump that right hip back, bring that left hip forward, have our hands on the chair, and just breathe. If you're bringing your hands both up overhead, it looks like this. And if you're doing just one hand, which is what I'm going to do, your right hand is still positioned on the chair, your left hand is in the air. Nice, strong warrior. Squeeze the thighs, squeeze the belly, squeeze the glutes. And then open up into warrior two. All right, left hand goes behind you. You're still looking over the right side, looking over that right shoulder. If you want to adjust the legs a little bit, you can. You want to widen your stance. A lot of people do here. If you have both hands up, it looks like this. You do have to have one hand behind you for this particular pose. So you can't have both hands on the chair. It wouldn't work. But look over the right shoulder. Then you're going to lean forward like you're bringing your right shoulder or your hand down towards the chair, and then go back. Let the tips of the fingers just touch the chair as you bring your left hand onto the left thigh. And gaze is up, reverse warrior. And come back into warrior two. We're going to go back into warrior one. But this time we're going to soften the knees, come up just a little bit, kind of coming out of that stance of being in a lunge pose, more of like a triangle pose. And that's because what we're going to do is we're going to take our left foot behind us and then let the toes press into the ground and lift up on that heel. So for those of you who don't want to do the balancing pose, you can stay just like this, kind of getting a sense of what it is, like that first step before letting go and taking off. But for those who do want to come into balancing pose, lift up after you take off, straighten out that leg. You can stay just like this with your hands on the chair, or you can open up with the opposite hands. So right hand forward, left hand behind you, and the left hand is on the chair. So those are your modifications. And then we're going to come down and just tick-tock that leg all the way down right next to meet the right behind the chair. Good. Mountain pose. And breathe. Awesome, awesome. Nice little warrior sequence. Now let's do the other side. We're going to take that right foot, so you can wiggle the right foot, and that's going to come behind us. Again, find your range. Soften that knee, come down into your lunge, bump that left hip back, bring that right hip forward so that you square with the chair. Remember, square with the chair. Beautiful. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the thighs, sit up a little bit taller, and then bring up your right hand, warrior one. Just embrace that warrior. And then open up, warrior two. Right hand goes behind you. Your gaze is over the left shoulder. Adjust your legs as you need to. Continue to keep the bottom part of the body engaged. Squeeze the core. Feel that squeeze go all the way up from the toes, all the way up the belly. Then sit up a little bit taller in your chest. We're going to lean the shoulder forward, coming towards the chair, and then bring the right hand onto the thigh, reverse warrior. Gaze is up. Nice reverse warrior. Come back into warrior two. Pivot back around into warrior one. And then we're going to kind of come out of warrior one. We're going to take that back foot, that right foot, and we're going to make sure that it's facing forward. And we're going to come up to bumping on those toes. The heel is up, and you can stay just like this. All right, you can kind of soften that knee a little bit, maybe come up a little bit more to prepare for takeoff if you're going to do balancing. And we're going to come forward and take off. Beautiful. And you can take that right hand, extend it out. Take the left hand, extend it out in front of you. Right foot is behind you, balancing. And there's any modification in between is fine. Feel the full length of your body extend. Really press more into your foot, and you're balancing the balls of your feet to really get the extension. And that extension helps you to balance more, and then come back. Tick-tocking that right foot down. Soften those knees. Come back into mountain pose. One hand or two hands. And bring the hands down to the chair. And we're going to close out this part of the sequence with a downward dog. So take your step back, about 2 steps back. Bring your head to the top of the chair. And just kind of walk it out. Last downward dog of the class. Really breathe in and let it go. Beautiful. We're going to start to walk back up, bringing our belly, chest, and then head back into that standing pose, right behind our chair. Arms come up for one last mountain pose. Breathing in and out, and hands come down by the side. And just pause for a second. Feel the full length of your body. Soften those knees. Relax the shoulders. Take a few more breaths. And then when you're ready, come back into your seat. All right. We'll come back into our seat. Relax. If you have any last minute poses that you want to do, you can do so now. Otherwise, you can come into Savasana. Letting your feet just be melted into the ground beneath you. Relaxing the legs. the thighs, the belly, chest. Relax the shoulders, let the tongue fall away from the top of the mouth. Maybe close the eyes. If you want to bring your back onto the back of the chair, you can. You can continue to sit up straight, or you can just bring it to the back of the chair. And congratulate yourself on a job well done. You didn't have to come to class today, but you did. And thank you. Thank you for sharing the space. Continue in Savasana until I ring the singing bowl, and at that time we'll close class together. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a beautiful, blessed day. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you, Rochelle.